Hey party people, guess what? It's time for a tutorial. Tutorial. And I'm serious this time, not like my LMR video. I mean, for real. Tutorial. Tutorial's gonna happen. It's gonna happen. It's gonna happen now. Fucking go to my fucking page. Fucking clue. Alright, let's advertise this. Drawing tutorial, it's gonna happen and I'm gonna record it and then everything is gonna be like, I don't know, everything's gonna be cool. Okay, let's get some music playing because music is awesome. I like having music going on in the background. Drawing tutorial, drawing tutorial, drawing tutorial, drawing tutorial. Drawing tutorial, drawing tutorial, drawing. Gonna draw a tutorial and everyone's gonna be like, holy shit. It's gonna be like, wow. Let's see. I'm gonna advertise this on LMR too. Oh, fuck it, I don't care. Repost. I'm not just streaming. I'm streaming a drawing tutorial. Yay, drawing tutorial. Yay, yay, yay. Holy fuck. What the fuck is with this? Holy shit. Okay, let me get a... Okay.
Phantoms lured me off my course, tried to kill the man I was.
Okay, let's see. I'm gonna grab my double mocha coffee over here. Shake this shit up. Shake it up. Shake it like a baby. Alright. That's what I'm talking about. Alright. Like that braves the tide to the weekends in the night. I trust in you and I'm watching over you. Fuck yeah, let's do this. To the ghosts that disappear, I'm watching over you. Let's drink this fucking coffee. Alright, let's fucking do this. Hello, Squarehead. How you doing? I am so fucking ready. Alright, let's do this. So, first part of the tutorial. I'm gonna go part 1. Brush. Do, 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 do. 3 pixel round solid black question mark. Okay, so there's part 1 of the tutorial. Alright, part 2. New layer. Part 2. Tablet. I don't use a mouse. And then picture of a mouse. Okay, that's part 2. Oh man, we're getting places. Alright, alright. Part 3. Program. I should write, I have a Cintiq 12WX. A bamboo is fine too. Part 3, program. Photoshop CS2 through 5. Those are all I know. Okay, now to get to the actual drawing tutorial shit. This is the good part. Oh yeah, I forgot paint. Okay. Step 1. The dummy. This is the most important part. This is it. Let's go get some music going. Alright. Okay. This lets you figure out positioning before you add detail. head, line, nose line, sort of spine placement. Just so people know, this video will go up on YouTube, so you'll be able to watch it there. Alright. I need to take this limey motherfucker here. I need to copy him and paste him. Let's... where'd he go? Oh, he's already on his own. Select. Yep, he's on his own. Okay, duplicate him. Let's move him over here. Step 2. Body dummy. Add some ribs and tummy exclamation point. This is where you throw in the ribs, which are a triangle with a rounded bottom. Then you throw in the tummy placement, which is an oval that intersects in the middle of the ribs. This gives you a very general idea of where the bottom of the ribs are going to go, which is about right here. Alright. Then you're going to throw in and the pelvis. And then go to this guy. This is kind of the toughest part. Okay, so this right here is, imagine that you're looking at a skeleton. The skeleton has a hip bone. These are the hip regions, and it goes down to the general location where you want to place the crotch. Okay? Now, keep in mind as well, my strokes are like this. Continuous, over and over, following along the same path. This is an important thing to know if you want to use my style. And keep also in mind that all my strokes curve in that fucking direction. When I want to work in the other direction, it's a lot quicker and a lot harder to get. And normally, if I wanted to get, you know, the best amount of detail absolutely possible, then I would turn the fucking camera around and do like this, and then turn it back around and do like this. So you get the same amount of detail on both sides. So keep that well in mind, but it's not terribly important. You kind of use your own stroke style when you do this stuff. Now I'm going to need some arrows. Okay. Ribs. Tummy. This. And also this. Hip bones. It's right here. General. Crotch. Zone. Okay. Plus neck. I forgot the neck. That's an important part. Okay, I need to make sure that I'm not combining anything with this layer. Okay, I'm not. And the neck builds up from the ribs into the head. And that's about all you need for now. Just basic placement of it. Yeah, zoom back out. Let's put an arrow right here that says neck. Alright. Let's go to layer 11. Let's add in another border. Let's go back to this dude right here. Okay, I need that layer and I need this layer to be duplicated and merged. Let's put them over here. Step 3. Establish gender. You should do this before step 2, but this is my dumb way. Let's do female. Alright, so female it is. Okay, this is where you add the clavicle, everyone's favorite part of my drawings. This is where you add neck arteries, which generally aim in the same direction. You got a kind of thing going on like this. That's generally how neck articles, clavicles, or whatever the fuck you call them, work. Is that little crease right there is generally in the same U shape or V shape as the veins that are going in. I draw very sexy articles, I agree. Alright, the next... Okay, now this is a part that I get anatomically incorrect, so keep this in mind. The placement of the breasts, if you're drawing a female, I place like this. Keep in mind I'm making them a lot smaller than I usually draw them, because I want this to be, you know, safe for YouTube. Shit like that. Okay, I'm not gonna add, you know, dirty parts, nipples, and other things. I'm not gonna add that because this is supposed to be YouTube safe. Keep well in mind that my anatomy is bad. My anatomy is not correct. I draw in an artsy, stupid, stylized sort of style. The reason why is I'm doing this on purpose. I don't want my anatomy to be realistic. I want my forms and my shapes to be realistic, but I don't want anatomy to be realistic. And the reason why is because I get enough realism looking at real life, you know? Now, keep in mind that these breasts that I have created are connected to the clavicle. That's not really where they go. Generally, they should be a little further down and reaching a little further up. They should not be connected exactly where I put them, but this is my stupid style. So generally you've got an idea kind of like this. Now, what I did, and I'm going to do this in red lines to show you, I started right here, which is generally about what I would consider maybe 2 inches away from the armpit. I moved from this point right here down a slight bit. So watch as I do this again. I moved down a slight bit. This creates kind of the illusion of an armpit. Then I immediately jutted outwards to create the top of a rounded object. Then right here is generally where I put the nipple, but since we're staying clean, I'm just sort of giving it a sort of pointed shape. That's the general, you know, if you're drawing in this angle, which you're not always going to be drawing in this angle, but that's what for the sake of the tutorial, shut up. Anyway, so now you've got, you know, right when you get right there where you want to place the nipple, that's when you curve back inward and get the underside. Now the underside is important, and I'm drawing on the same fucking layer as... Okay, this is another thing. If you want to draw like me, make sure you make lots of stupid mistakes like drawing on the same layer as your previous layer. I'm forgetting to create a new layer. Okay, getting back to this. Create a lot of new layers. This is something that I do a lot of, and I'm going to pull this over to show you. Every single time I create an intersecting line or object of some sort, I accidentally opened the help window because I'm an idiot, I create a new layer. So you can see that I've got everything sort of separated into different layers to kind of give that cool feel. Okay, now moving on to the next bosom. I generally go, see how you got this tummy circle positioning it right here? This gives a general idea of where you are positioning the next bosom. This isn't really a drawing tutorial. This is more of a how to draw a female as J tutorial. So you kind of get a general idea if you work like that to see where the next one should be. And that is right about there. And this one, since you're seeing it from the front, it's more or less just a circle with the top cut off. Then you build off of it with a sort of armpit thing kind of right here. And that's, you know, how I structure breasts, because I'm weird. There's better ways to structure them, and, you know, this is just how I do it because I'm weird. Now you've got the gender established. Part 1. This is only part 1 of establishing the gender. Part 2, let's say you're drawing a male. This is just going to be video only. I'm not going to save this in the final picture. Let's say you're drawing a male. Keep in mind that males and females have different rib structures. That's why this circle is only a general idea. This isn't, you know, guaranteed where the ribs are going to go. Let's say you're drawing some pecs. So you've got the male pec right there, and then you've got a rib. Then you've got a rib on the opposite side, and then a little bit of back muscle that comes in right here. And the remaining pec, judging by the position of the center of the clavicle, will be right about here, generally. Keep in mind I'm not incredibly skilled at drawing guys. Okay, so now that you've got this basic idea of where the pecs are, now you need the ribs. Female ribs tend to go up like this. I might be wrong. I might be doing this backwards. Yeah. No, male ribs do this. Okay, male ribs go up like that into their pecs. Now, if the guy had female ribs, it'd be more like this. More of like a little kind of shell deal. And, of course, they would have the breasts above that. The reason why is I'm imagining some sort of support thing. They got an extra rib or some shit like that. I don't even remember how fucking female anatomy works, but that's generally it. The reason why the male ribs go up like this is if you're doing some muscular structure, then you start the six-pack right about there, and you move down like that. This is, keep in mind, I'm going to say this a million times during the video, this is how I fucking draw. This is not correct anatomy. This is weird J anatomy. This is... there's a reason I don't want to do drawing tutorials, and that's because other artists tend to have a better understanding of artistic reason, anatomy, structure, and form than I do. But a lot of people do like J-anatomy. Thank you, Kazuya Mishima, for pointing that one out. People do like J-anatomy a lot, and a lot of people, I mean a lot of people, have asked me to do a drawing tutorial because people really like my style. I personally am not the biggest fan of my style. My style is a little too whacked out and strange. And there's a lot of things that I want to fix with my style, but whatever. Alright, so since we're working with a female, she has floating ribs, which means her rib structure is going to be going across like this. So this build-up right here is more of a positioning kind of thing, and we have a rib structure holding up the bazongas. Then you're going to move into other parts of the drawing. Now let me color that black, because I forgot to switch to black because I'm an idiot. I hit Control U and I just turn the lightness down and it turns that red line black. Aren't I cool? Alright, so let's get actual black here. Now you've got rib structure right there, and I'm going to slip shoulders into this. Okay, shoulders are important when you're working with male and female as well. I'm going to use red lines to point this out. Shoulder structure is completely different on males as it is on females. Let's say we're working with a male again. First off, their neck is going to work its way further into their shoulder structure, and you are going to work from the pec over into the shoulder, which is broad and broad out like so. Then you're going to add, muscular structure underneath that. You're going to add some sort of cool thing like that, bicep, tricep, all that kind of BS, and you're going to have this manly fucking shoulder over here, which builds up in this direction, has that kind of stuff going on, has the... See, the shoulder structure for males tends to be broader. Now this is a muscular male. A less muscular male might look something a little more like this, kind of just wide shoulders. You still build into the shoulder from the pec. Now it's weird that he has pecs when he's not supposed to be muscular, but who fucking cares? Seriously, get off my back, people. Alright, so you've kind of got that thing going on, so that works. But for the sake of the fact that this guy's muscular, we're giving him some muscle structure, which means, of course, widen up the fucking waist. Now keep in mind, if you're drawing with J anatomy, that means your waists will not get very big. I don't draw big waists. Keep in mind that if you're drawing someone that's as muscular as I have shown right here, you're probably going to want to add a lot more back structure and a much thicker waist. Much, much, much thicker. Going into a sort of pseudo strong looking crotch right here. So you've got a much more muscular physique, which means you're going to need to bring the ribs back here. You're going to have much bigger six-pack structure, all kinds of shit like that. Understand that I do know anatomy. I understand the concept of anatomy, however I choose to avoid the concept of anatomy. The reason why is because J-anatomy is just artsy. It's an artsy, made-up, stupid anatomy that I have thrown together. I would like, despite the fact of not being able to put together realistic anatomy, to create realistic form with my lack of anatomy. So even though I'm giving him a tiny fucking waist and retarded shit like that, I'm still, you know, making something that looks realistic. It's something. Okay, but moving on from J-anatomy, let's move back to the female. So let's put the breasts back on, and keep in mind these shoulders are going to be very different. I'm going to use red to point this out. Girls tend to have closer together shoulders. Tend to. They don't have to. And they tend to peak higher than guys. Girls don't have broad-ass shoulders. They have smaller shoulders. Now, let's pretend that we're making this a more muscular female, which I strongly doubt. She looks like she needs to eat a fucking cheeseburger, but let's pretend. Her six-pack structure is going to start at the bottom of her ribs right there and move down this way. And we're going to have a more tight and pinching inwards pack structure. And then this thing that I forgot the name of it, the pooch, I don't know. And in the second row right here, that's where the belly button goes. It's right between those fucking things. The belly button's kind of the reason the six-pack happens. I don't fucking care. You guys don't care either. Then of course you're going to widen her up, all that kind of stuff. But me, I'm stupid and I don't widen people up. So let's just make her a fucking supermodel. I don't care. Okay, so if you want to make her a supermodel, just throw a belly button in and just completely forget about the six-pack structure. You can probably throw in like a slight hint of it, just because even skinny people still have that little hint of a six-pack going on. They don't have to work out. I mean, working out certainly helps, but I mean, even the skinniest fucking people in the world, you can kind of see the general area where their six-pack is supposed to go. So you can kind of give a hint of that. Now, once you've got the belly button going on, which I usually make a backwards bending curve depending on which direction they're facing, which gives it the sense of depth, then you can move underneath it and give a sense of, you know, curving back outwards to give a little sense of a tummy right there. That belly button looks terrible, so let's start that over. Okay, so see, you kind of got this idea of a, I'll put that in red. You kind of got this idea of a, like a tummy structure. You've got this sort of roundness going on right there. Keep in mind that I say keep in mind a lot. Keep in mind that the sketch is basically just a lot of positioning. Considering you're going to be moving on to a much more detailed picture, then the sketch is kind of just, you don't have to make the sketch something that other people will understand. That's the most important thing. You'll notice that there's a lot of lines in here that you don't really know what they're there for. That's because I'm drawing it. I understand what every line on this entire picture is there for. Because I'm the fucking one who put them down. So you don't need to make other people able to understand your sketches. Your sketches can just be there for the sake of being there. It's all just positioning for moving on to a later picture. Now, sometimes I'm working with color sketches, which means I'm going to need to color the sketch, which means the sketch needs to have a little more detail and a little less horrifying lines and stuff like that. So if you're working with a color sketch, if you're going to be coloring the sketch and you're going to be adding detail to it, then make sure to clean up your sketchy lines. Leave the sketchy, ugly lines like the positioning, things like that, on separate layers so that you're like completely able to go and erase them easily. Now, assuming we're working with a more muscular female, You're going to make her neck move into her shoulder a little more, because you have to understand that as the neck, or as muscle builds up, the neck tends to get wider. The reason why is because the shoulders are broadening, which is giving them, you know, a sense of, which is working the neck, kind of. It's pulling the neck over into them. So, she's still going to have close together shoulders, but they're going to have this obvious muscular tone to them. Now, with a female, instead of working from the pec, you of course move from the breast over, create an armpit, and create the bottom line of the shoulder. Then you add pretty much the same muscular structure as you would for a guy, except you make it a little more sleek, a little more, you know, future looking. I don't know what you would call it. Future shoulder. Now, here's a part that I suffer with, but you can improve off this. If you're the one drawing it, you can improve these kinds of things. The back should not be going into the armpit. It should be going far behind the armpit to create a sense of a back and allow you to imagine that if the shoulder is attached right there, if this is the attachment point, then the back is going far enough back to encompass that attachment point. Now the next thing is, if you're working with someone muscular, of course, widen the fucking waist. I say fucking a lot. Deal with it. Who said I say fucking a lot? XX Cron? Deal with it, XX Cron. Keep also in mind that muscle structure usually means less breasts. But if you're like me, which I am very much like me, then muscle structure doesn't mean shit to breasts. They can be huge. They can be, you know, these fucking gigantic basketballs attached to her chest, and she's still muscular as fuck. The reason why is because it's a drawing. You don't have to be realistic with drawings. That's the point of drawings. You are able to let your imagination go wherever the hell you want. Anywhere. I mean, you could do whatever the hell you want with your damn muscle structure and anatomy and everything like that. Hell, you can give her another arm coming out of her back. That's flexing, like Trogdor, the Burninator. And you can give her a giant eyeball on her face. And give her a third boob. I don't know. It's up to you. You are able to do anything you want with a drawing. It's a drawing. Go wherever the hell you want. You don't need to, you know, be incredibly realistic. You don't need to stick to proper anatomy and stuff like that. If you want to stick to proper anatomy like Rosalie does, then stick to proper anatomy. Because proper anatomy can look really nice. Proper anatomy can look awesome. You can draw this proper anatomy and make like a furry character with like realistic anatomy and shit like that. And you can do anything you want with it. I mean, like you can have this really realistic looking awesome thing that's all flexing and all badass and I don't know, whatever. You can be cool. But me, I choose to throw anatomy out the window. What I'm working on, of course, is form. Form is incredibly important, and I'm going to move on to form once we get to the next part of this picture. Now, once you've got the shoulders in fact, I shouldn't move on from the shoulders because this is only step 3. Okay, so I'm going to start redlining everything to show what I added. Redline here, redline here. Redline this thing to create a triangle. Redline the circle. And redline the triangle. Now keep in mind that this weird arrowhead shape that creates the hips, I usually make the crotch right down where the circle ended. Now, where the circle ends is up to you. You can have a character who has a waist that goes all the way down to here and make the crotch all the way down there if you want. It's up to you. You're the master of your own picture. I mean, come on. Alright, and then this, we have this kind of stuff going on. Now, keep also well in mind that, I should probably redline these. Keep also well in mind that you don't have to draw a character in a static pose like this. I draw static poses like this. I'm trying to move out of it and get more dynamic and stuff like that, but ultimately, you're the master of your own poses. This is a basic style that will either help or, I don't know. If you're new to drawing, you can figure things out like this. This is pretty cool. I like I like all this stuff. Drawing is neat. Okay, you need these ribs right here. Keep in mind that the line starts at the bottom of the breast right here and moves out a little bit. You have to keep in mind that the breasts are resting on top of the ribs, and the ribs are not coming out of the breast. They're coming from under it. So curve them inwards a little bit to give the idea of, you know, a form sitting on top of them. Then you create this underbelly line and stuff like that. Okay, so we've kind of got an established look right here. Now we need to take this layer and what other layers? Just that layer? That's everything. I probably also need the... well, that's not everything. What other layers do I need? I need that layer, I need that layer, and I need that layer. Keep in mind you don't have to make this many layers. I say keep in mind a lot also. Deal with it. Okay, so that's all positioned correctly. Na 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 na. Okay, merge these layers, hit Control U. Let's make this all black. And let us move this weird female we've created down here. Now, the next part of this thing, this weird thing we've created, step 4. Duh. Face. Alright. Add the basic positions for facial features. Okay, so we've got that. Alright, now everyone pay attention to this part. This is kind of important. When creating a face, you want to choose between, of course, human or animal. Question mark. Now, if you're creating a human and you're working in my style, keep in mind you don't have to make this my style. I'm going to say keep in mind a lot of times during this. Okay, so you have your positioning line right here. This is really important to remember. If you become unsatisfied with the positioning lines, you can move them. You can put them wherever you want. If anyone's watched me draw, they've seen that I've moved the positioning lines a lot. Now, the positioning lines are going to give you the basic idea of where the nose goes, where the middle of the face is, and where the eyes are placed. The first thing that I do is I start at the top of the forehead and I move down. I create a crease inwards where the first eye is going to go. Then I create the cheekbone. I'm working with this can work for animal or human. It doesn't really matter right now. go down to the chin, which is going to end right when you curve inwards, right when you hit your center of the face line. That's where I usually build the chin. Go back in, and then, when you're a fair distance through the neck, put the end of the chin right there. Now you have to keep in mind the ear is usually placed right here. That's the bottom of the ear. That's not the ear itself. Now watch. Keep in mind that on a human skull, the ear hole is about right there, which means the ear is right above your the back of your jaw. Now, if this were, say, a pony, I would start the bottom of the ear right there and move it up. Move outwards, move up, and then come back inwards, and then you have the interior of the ear, and you have ear placement. You have the first ear. Then you can just put the other one wherever the hell you want. Who cares? As long as it's, in a position that it looks like it could be equidistant to the other ear, it doesn't matter where you put the second ear. Okay? Depeche Mode suddenly happened. Alright. Next. This is where I used to draw, or this is what I used to do at this step, but I don't really anymore. Create a hairline. I don't really create hairlines anymore because I've done them so many times that I kind of just know where they are now. I just mentally add a hairline and I just throw the hair in. You don't need to add hairlines, but it helps to add them. Okay, so let's say we're working with a human instead of a pony. You put the earlobe right about there and bring the ear around like that. Keep in mind that why do I say keep in mind so much? Keep in mind that the ear is retarded looking. This is a human ear. Ears are stupid. You work from the top of the ear, you come in, you create that little, that little thing that you love to poke at in your ear? I don't know what that's called, but I love to poke at it. And then you put the hole right above that and put a little thingy like that. Now, you don't need to do this. You could also do something a little more cartoony, like just throwing a 6 in their ear, if you're an idiot. Now, you've got the ear placement. Now, let's say you want to work with a human face and just give them animal ears because you're weird. Start at the top of your middle of the face line and create kind of a sense of 3 dimensions right here. This is how you're going to figure out where to put the nose and where the mouth is going to go. Once you got where the nose is going to go, which should be a little below the eye, you kind of got this thing going on, then you can figure one little bit below that is where the mouth should go, and then it goes around the chin right there. So you've kind of got this sense of 3 dimensions going on, and you've got a position for the mouth. Now you can throw in the eyebrows. Start at the outermost point of where I created that crease and move in like this. Then go and put another one on the other side. Doesn't matter if it overlaps into the ear a bit, just move the ear if you don't like that. It's up to you, it doesn't really matter. Then you go like this, you create the other nostril, you put a little bend for the nose, because keep in mind, humans have cute little button noses sometimes. Then erase your center line, you don't really need it anymore. Actually, you should fill in the mouth before you do that. So now you've got kind of a positioning for this. Now, the eyes. Everyone's favorite thing I draw is eyes. Eyes are incredibly important for a picture's look. I start at the upper inner corner of the eye every single time I draw an eye. And I create the top of the eye, which curves upwards and then has eyelashes, considering we're drawing a female. If you're not drawing a female, don't put eyelashes on it, unless you're drawing some sort of cross-dressing male that has eyelashes, or just some guy with weird eyelashes. Then you go to this part's important, so I'm going to put this in green. Hang on. Green. you go to right here, right where the eye hits the outer edge of the face. That's where you start, and you build down from there. Once you come straight across from the nose bend, that's when you pull the eye back in. Now you've got an eyeball. It doesn't look that great because I'm not really paying attention right now. Then you throw in more eyelashes if you want like the Lil Miss Rarity look going on. And then and eyelashes are supposed to you know, be relative to the positioning of the eye. They're probably not supposed to come off of the side of the eye, but I don't care. So now you've got that kind of thing going on. Now I'm going to make this black, and you can see a sort of Lil Miss Rarity look to the eye right there. Now the other eye, you're going to start in the exact same position you did with the first one, and you're going to just basically do the same thing, except you're going to use the side of the eyebrow to figure out where the back of the eye goes. Eventually you can kind of just do that by mind, you know, you don't need to do that stuff. I made your eyes a little too close together, so now you're going to hit transform, Control T. You can do this in Photoshop, I don't know if you can in Sci. And you're just going to morph it a little bit. Transform is your best friend. Keep that close to your heart. Transform is a thing that will allow you to fix a mistake without having to redraw it. So, let's say we're working with a pony instead of a human, because humans aren't really my thing. People kind of want to see ponies when they see me draw. So, you got your basic face shape like this. Now you're going to start with the eyebrow. See, with humans you start with the center of the face. The reason why is because they have a flat face. You know, their faces, they don't have a snout. You gotta go down the middle of the face and figure out where the nose is and where the lips are and stuff like that by doing this whole thing. But if you're working with a pony, you start with the eyebrow and the nose line, and once you get to a general location when you feel you want to start moving out into the snout, which I usually go a little below the eye crease, then you pull the snout outwards. Now, ponies don't have very long snouts in the show, but I give them slightly elongated snouts. Then you're going to have to change where the chin is, but just do that later. Just pull in here and create a sense of a cheek going on. You can transform it, you can move it around, you can do whatever the hell you want with it to get it looking the way you want it to look. Then, if it's a pony, you're going to add their little nostrils to get a sense of where the center of their head is. The nostrils are like arrows pointing at, this is the center of their snout. Now, ponies, from this angle you're going to have like a bend mark right there. From other angles you could have the top of their snout and then a bend mark. But for the sake of this picture, let's just throw in the bend mark. The bend mark helps you figure out where the other eye goes. Now me, I don't like where that ear is positioned, so I'm going to move it. Move it up here, pull it back here a little bit. Alright, that looks better. Then I'm going to need to move the cheek to fit with the ear better, or the new ear placement. Transform that a little bit. Now, with the transform tool, a lot of people are probably wondering, oh, when I use it, it just goes up and down and left and right, and I can't figure out how to make it go diagonal like you do. You hold control to do this, so you can bend it in like, you know, like you're holding a card and turning it and stuff like that. So you can create whatever the hell you want out of it. You can pull the corner down, pull the corner back up, anything like that, whatever the hell you want to do. You just hold and control. Now if you hold control and shift, you get it on a line. You know, it snaps to a grid, which is pretty cool. And then if you hold control and alt, you get both sides moving. which I never do. I move one side at a time because I'm slightly less lazy than some people. Okay, now you're going to want to go and fix that chin. Just erase like that. You go to the chin layer and you just erase everything that's not overlapping and such like that. Now you've got the basic shape of a pony face. Now, proportionally to the body, the head is too big, but I draw big heads. That's what I do. Kazuya Mishima seems to have a question. What would you like to know, Kazuya? Kazuya is taking a while with their questions, so I'm going to keep moving on. Now, you're going to want to throw in the eyes. But you do the exact same way as the other eyes. I was raising my hand to a question asked by another chat user. Well, fine. Okay, now you're going to want to throw in the eyes. Start at the upper inner corner and just do the same thing I taught you before. Fine with that. Okay, we're going to be drawing some sort of weird humanized Lil Miss Rarity, so let's do that. That sounds fun. Alright, so you got the first eye going on right there, and then let's get the second eye. Make sure that any separate objects are in separate layers. This way, if you need to transform anything, you can transform the one thing that you're working on instead of, if you made them the same layer, having to transform both of them, which is a hassle and annoying as shit. Alright, so let's get this going on here. You've got sexy eyes. Now, the eye on the inside isn't being covered up by the nose bridge right here, so you can give it a little more detail, give it whatever the hell this thing is called, a little eye bean. I don't know what that is. That's like, you know, when you have like a can of something and you're like, how do I open this? And then like there's this little place where you're supposed to put your finger in to open it up, like taking the batteries out of a thing. I figure that's like the spot where you reach your finger in to gouge someone's eyeball out. Alright, so now you've got your sexy eyes going on. The face. Alright, and then you want to add the other ear in the background, which I like to make one of them bending forward, especially the one in the background, because it gives a little sense of difference. If you have both of them going up, it's weird. Then you need the pupils. Pupils are important when you're creating the face. This is like the hardest part to teach somebody how to do. The reason why is because eyes took me an incredibly long time to learn, and I still don't have them down. Let's say we want her to be looking at the screen. You want a general idea of where the centers of her eyes are. They're like right there and right there. They're weird. Just bear with me here. So she's got weird plus signs in her eyes. So if you want to... This is so hard to teach. Let's say we want her to be looking at the screen. I usually start with the further away eye because it's easier to throw it in. You start with the iris, and then the pupil is like a smaller thing inside the iris, as you all know. Fill in the pupil completely solid because it's going to remain solid for the remainder of the picture. So now you've got the sense of one eye looking at you. Now you need to figure out where to put it on the other one. If you follow the same principle and put it over to the side, you're going to get an eye all the way over here, which gets her looking to the side. That's not what we're trying to do, though. We're trying to get her looking at the screen. If you put it over here, you're going to get her doing a derpy face. Derp. That's not where you want to put it. You want to put it in a place, and you can't just put it right in the middle of her eye. As much as you might think that looks fine, it's incorrect positioning-wise. You want to put it slightly off-centered and a little bit up. Keeping in mind that this eye back here is looking a little bit up, which means this eye also needs to look a little bit up. You're going to want to get its size correct. You want it to look proportionally the same as the other eye. Unless, of course, you're drawing Lil Miss Rarity, in which case we are. Alright, so, whatever, let's just give her normal eyes for the sake of this picture. Now you want to throw in the iris. You usually start with the pupil on the second eye, and the reason why is because it's a lot more precise. It's smaller. You're able to get the positioning down a lot faster. If you start with the iris, you're going to have a little bit of problems. Now, narrow up the iris a little bit, and you've kind of got a sense of her looking at you. She's like, hey, what's up? Now the mouth. You remember where the center of the face is because you have these nostrils pointing at the center of the face. Now she looks like a camel or an alpaca. So you've got the idea of the center of the face. That's where you're going to make a curve going up. Like that. You're going to want to move it down wherever the hell you want to move it. I don't know what face you're trying to make. But that signifies the center of the mouth. Now you're going to work from that little upwards curve and bring it down into, let's give her some sort of sassy smile. You go down and then back up to give a sense of it going around the form. So you've got that thing going on. Now, right up here, it's going to be scrunching the skin a little bit because she's smiling. So give it a little scrunch mark like that. And then if you want to add teeth, this is my favorite part. You start at that scrunch mark and make an inwards curving hole, or line, to give the sense of a hole. Inwards curving line to give the sense of a hole. Then you decide how wide you want her smile to be. Let's give her a big old toothy grin. Now start a little ways inwards from the edge of your mouth and bring the first tooth down. Keep in mind the teeth do not go all the way back to the other side of the mouth. They go about to right here. You're going to want to make an inwards curve right there, and there's the hole that I mentioned earlier. And you've got a sort of mouth thing going on. Now, aiming at that line right there, you can create the sense of teeth, and then start a little inwards from that tooth right there and bring it down. And you've got toothy grin. Now, if you're working with a toothy grin, be a little realistic about it. Curve her mouth inwards a little bit. I'm going to put this in green so you can see it. Curve her mouth, or her snout, inwards a little bit. Bring it back out, and lower her jaw slightly, because her mouth is open. Her chin pushed her chin pushed down because her mouth has opened a little bit. So you've got chin going on. I'm going to do that in red. Too lazy to just change that green to red. Alright, so now you've got smiley LMR. Now, if you're working with a unicorn, here's the funnest part of working with a unicorn. Take this corner of this eyebrow and this corner of this eyebrow and go in like that to find the center of the face and make a circle right there. Later on, you're going to figure this out and you're just going to be able to do that mentally, which is what I do. And then you just throw the horn on right in the center of the face. Now, I usually take my eraser and I erase it so it's got a nice little, kind of looks like it's stuck onto her head. If you have a solid line right there, it's more like Kevin Sano where, their horn is actually coming out of their skull. And it's a little like crystal kind of thing. But if you open the lines up like this and make them sort of just generalized pointing towards each other, you've got the sense of it just sort of being part of her head. Then you add the swirl, a little detailing like that. And then, of course, you take the ear behind it and erase it. Simple as that. And you should probably also erase the part of her head behind it. So now we've got a bald Lil Miss Rarity standing there. Alright, now we're moving on to the next part of the picture. Next step. Alright, let's take her, copy her, merge the layers, make her all black. Move her over. Son of a G's. You need to get every single layer that you use to make up her face. Or I need to for the sake of this tutorial, but you won't be doing this because you're not creating duplicates of your picture. You're smarter than that, and I'm not. Okay, so you take all of these layers. That's all of it, right? Yes, that's all of her. Okay. Merge those. Create a duplicate. Move her over. We're going on to the next step. Yay, next step. Let's get black. Now, the next step. First things first. Alright. Good lord. Okay. Next step is hair. Step 5. Hair. Throw some gorgeous locks on Dad Pony. Okay. Now, since you're working with a unicorn, this makes this part a little bit easier. Your hairline is going to start right there. So, let's say you want to give her a hairstyle like this, where you have bangs coming down like this. When you're working with hair, make it very hair-like. Make your strokes really long and really breezy and hair-like. You can make bangs like this, and then same thing on the other side. Kind of get that sense of that going on, so she looks kind of like Mike the Microphone. Then work from behind it and make the rest of the hair, so on and so forth. But in this case, we're working with Rarity. And I drew on the same layer as my text, so I need to erase this manually, because I'm an idiot. Erase, 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 erase. In this case, we're working with Rarity, which means we're going to have to make Rarity's mane. So, let's make Rarity's mane. You go up from the horn, you come back down. This should be in red. Work up from the horn, come back down. Go inwards a little, come back outwards, and make a little swirl. This is the basic positioning for Rarity's hair. Now erase the line that's behind her face right there. Then curve inwards from the top of the swirl and the bottom of the swirl, and then the top of the inner swirl and the bottom of the inner swirl, and the top of the inner swirl. Now you've got her basic little hair curl going on. Then go to the very top of the hair and come back like this. This is working from memory. I'm pretty sure this isn't what her hair looks like, but just bear with me. This is what I do for Lil Miss Rarity. I just draw her hair by memory. You'll probably notice that it's changed a lot. She's got that little crease going on. You move the hairline back, and then you bring her hair down like this. And then if I remember correctly, it curves around like such. So you've got the same little swirl going on except coming from the other side of her head, so it's got this thing going on like that. It's really hard to explain hair because I'm incredibly quick and fluid with hair, since it's like my favorite thing to draw. Then you're going to add the details. Keep up with the curve of the hair. The curve of the hair is like really important. When you're throwing in the hair-like details, keep the curve going the same direction throughout. I work from the top and the bottom and work in towards the middle to get that sense of kind of like a highlight going down the middle, because I'm cool like that. And it sort of saves you some time highlighting later on. Keep in mind three-dimensional stuff. So you're going to have to do that, and then go back and do this. And just do this throughout the hair, get the whole detail thing going on. This is important, incredibly important. It really is. Shut up. Always keep in mind form, shading, everything like that, and just work with it. I know I make this look easy, but this is not an easy part of the picture. Hair's important. Especially making hair look good. Making hair look good is actually a tricky thing to do. You gotta keep in mind all that form, all that bounciness, all that shininess, all those highlights, all that. With Keenan and Kel. Okay, keep also in mind that everything I do is from memory. Unless I'm doing pose study, I'm not working from a picture. This is all mental. You just sort of create a drawing. So now you've got Rarity's beautiful fucking hair. Normally you would want to erase lines around it, but I mean, look at this. You put it to black, looks just fine. Anything that's overlapping, who cares? Just don't even worry about it. Now, I'm going to go back here and I'm going to add some lines or some arrows to explain things. Ears. Cheek. Eyes. Horn. Teeth. I should probably also add some up here. Bubs. Shoulders. Tum. Alright, and then down here we've got coiffure. Girls. Okay, so we've got the whole Rarity thing going on here. Take these two layers, copy them, merge them, make them black. That looks pretty cool. And then move her over here. Create some separation lines. Now this part should have come earlier, but it didn't because I'm stupid. This is cleanup. You need to be very careful. Normally you're going to have these all on separate layers, but in this case I just copied these all as the same layer. So I need to be more careful with my erasing. I'm going to write step 6 clean up. Fix those overlapping lines. Okay, now remember, as you're doing this, you're gonna have these all on the same, you know, all on separate layers, which will make it a lot easier to do this. You're not gonna have to be all careful not to erase the wrong lines and go around doing this crap. This is stupid and dumb, and it's stupid and it's dumb and it's just stupid. And it's dumb. Shut up. Okay, let me move up here. You can kind of detail your thing a little bit as you're doing this. You get like a better sense of form, shadow, proportion, all those important things as you are fixing your sketchy lines. Now, this is like the best moment for you to decide what you want your picture to look like when it's finished. This is where you make the choice of, you know, like, how do I want this to look? How do I want that to look? How do I want to fix this? How do I want to fix that? Is the cleanup part. You can fix areas that you thought you screwed up. You can improve areas that didn't look right, so on and so forth. You can do whatever the hell you want. I mean, have some fun with it. I hope you're paying good attention, because there's a lot of things I'm fixing right here. You know what? Screw the crouch right now. I mean, friendly, user-friendly, not to be taken the wrong way YouTube things. Okay. So now you've kind of, whatever, got a sense of cleanup going on right here. You've got your lines looking alright. Now, in some cases, leaving the sketch lines there might actually look pretty cool. Like, in this case, I thought the groinal region looked a little better with some sketchy lines going on. Because you got a sense, and I kind of also liked the sketch line on the stomach and the breasts like that. Like, sometimes things like that keep a picture looking really cool. But anyway, that's pretty much it for creating a bust. But now people want to see some more color ideas, so I'm going to go to image, I'm going to go to canvas size, I'm going to make the canvas bigger, like 10 inches bigger, and I'm going to create another step that's going to show people, like, basically you got the basics down now. You don't see how to, you know, you haven't seen how to create stuff like arms and stuff like that, arms, legs, whatever. But for the sake of keeping this simple and keeping it an easy, hopefully easy to follow exercise, you are I'm just going to move to the final steps real quick. I'll make other whatchamacallit. I'll make other tutorials like this, so don't worry about it. There's going to be more. Why is it suddenly so stuffy in here? Why did my fan turn off? You know what? Screw it. I'm about to finish this tutorial. Okay. This is the part where you change the color of the background. This is where I would make Lil Miss Rarity have her signature weird red colored background. Of course you want it to be the right color, so let's do the Lil Miss Rarity thing. Okay. Step, this is what, 7? Yeah. Step 7, colors. This tutorial is probably getting nobody anywhere, but anyway. Change the BG color to something you won't be using. In Lil Miss Rarity's case, the red isn't gonna go anywhere else in the picture, and if I put blood in, then you know, whatever. We're also gonna throw in everyone's favorite part, the awesome eyes. Now, when I do eyes, pay close attention. Just scribble in like this with white. Go to filter, go to blur, go to Gaussian blur, and put it to 3.5. If it doesn't look right the first time, do it again by hitting Control F. Now, go above the line layer and throw the highlights in. I like to throw a big highlight in the outer corner of the pupil and a small highlight on the lower inner. Then duplicate the highlight layer and blur the duplicated layer, and you get that sense of shininess in the eyes. Then the other thing I do is take the line layer. Look at those eyes, those are creepy. Take the sketch, duplicate it, and blur the duplicated one by 3.5. If it doesn't look cool enough the first time, do it again, but don't make your picture too damn dark. Then teeth underneath the line layer, just fill them in white, completely solid. Be real careful with this. You don't want to screw it up. Then duplicate that and blur the duplicated layer to give a sense of shininess. If the shininess doesn't look right under the line layer, move it above the line layer and give her some luminescently radioactive glowing teeth. Now, in this case, the eye layer, the eyeballs, are not white enough. Which means, where the hell is the eye layer? Where did I fucking put it? I'm gonna kill everyone. Okay, there it is. You're going to copy it. Make her eyes a little brighter. Duplicate it. So now you've basically got a picture of Lil Miss Rarity going on. But, of course, you people are weird and you want there to be scars and stuff like that. So, let's throw her scars on there for good measure. Now, your character doesn't need scars, but if you're adding scars, remember the form of the face. Keep in mind that the scars are not going to go straight up and down. If they go straight up and down, they look like this. Look how dumb this looks. Look at this. her face looks flat. No, you have to keep in mind that her face has form. You have to work around that form. Then you bring in the scars from the side here on her snout. Then let's put her heart scar on her chest. Now, see, I'm working with bosoms here, so you gotta keep in mind that these things are round. You don't just flatly put it like that. No. Work around the form. Consider that the form is definitely there. The roundness is there. Work around the roundness. Form is important. It's incredibly important to making a picture look really good. Of course, I don't personally think that my pictures look really good, but I mean, if you want a picture to look good, always keep form in mind. Form is like the most important part of a good picture. If you don't have form, everything looks flat and looks dumb. You gotta have form. Now, seeing as the other side of the heart is going off of the side of the picture, you're kind of just gonna see it coming back in like this. So you've got that thing going on. And just fill that in black like an idiot. You just kind of scribble in the black. The reason why you just kind of scribble in, because it's a sketch. You don't need to be all uppity up about a sketch. Then copy the scar layer and blur it just like you did with all the previous lines. And you've got Lil Miss Rarity going on. Now, you're going to move into the next part of the picture. This is everybody's favorite part. Everybody's favorite part, and everybody knows what I'm about to do. Okay, so take all that and the background, duplicate it, merge it. Here's the best part. Here's the best part. Alright, here we go. Let's cut this off right here. Step 8. That thing J does. It's a very important thing, let me tell you. And you all know what it is. At least you should if you know anything about me. You're going to take your brush, you're going to make it real big. Here we go, this is where it's fun. Create a new layer that is above everything else. And go around the picture like so. And box her in, sort of like that. Kind of get the idea of her form going on. Then you're going to go filter, you're going to go blur, you're going to go Gaussian blur, and you're going to put this up to like fucking 200 or some shit. You just put it real high until you get that cool outer edge blurry thing that I do. Now this looks terrible in this picture, but it, you know, when the sides are cropped out, it looks fine. Like, let me zoom in and show you. See, you've got that whole Lil Miss Rarity effect going on. That's how you do it. Now you all know. And then clear this up like that, just so it's not overlapping with everything else. And then go down to 3 pixels with your brush again. And then, in the end, you are given a picture like I'm gonna make something like this. Okay. Let's take these, duplicate them, merge the layers. Let's take that crop thing, the square. Okay, and then we're going to go like so. Mix selection, and then go to select up at the top, hit inverse, and then just hit delete. And you've got a picture, a bust of Lil Miss Rarity. Why is that blurred? God damn it. Hang on. Let's fix that. Let's take this layer. No. This layer. And the scars. Where are the scars? There they are. Wait, no. I didn't add the scars yet. Undo that. Okay. Let's take that. Put it up in there. And then let's take this layer. Erase that. And there's apparently another one of it. Yeah, that one. Okay. Alright, so now we've got the basic tutorial. You create a 3-pixel round solid black brush. You use a tablet instead of a mouse. You use Photoshop, Psy, or GIMP, or whatever, Paint, I don't know. You create the original dummy. You throw in the ribs, the stomach, and the pelvis. You throw in, you know, whatever gender you want. Shoulders corresponding to the gender. Breasts, ribs, tummy region, belly button. You form out the face, which you're going to have to watch this video to figure it all out. And yes, it's going to be on YouTube, don't worry about it. You throw in the hair. You clean up everything. You do my little blurry effects. You do my outer blurry effect. And you crop the picture correctly. Okay, well, good. Thumbs up. Alright, so this video is going to get put up onto YouTube. Everyone's going to love it, and I mean everyone. And now people are going to have a general understanding of how I do my stuff. It's not the best drawing tutorial. In fact, I probably could have done something a lot better, but I'm going to throw it up on YouTube regardless. I will link the YouTube video immediately to Lil Miss J, so on and so forth. Thumbs up. Alright, that's it for the stream. I'll see you guys tomorrow. I've got plans tomorrow. I need to go to bed. Alright? So, see you later. Have a good one. Good night.